Venezuelan history is at one of its most consequential moments. Over the weekend, Venezuelan dictator Nicolás Maduro was arrested and brought to the United States following a U.S. military operation that struck key targets in Venezuela. Welcome to the special edition of the Venezuela Weekly, replacing the America's Minute today to bring you the latest on a moment that marks a new chapter for the South American country. To recap, during the early hours of Saturday, January 3rd, at President Trump's order, the U.S. military launched a strike and raid in Venezuela that resulted in the capture of strongman Nicolás Maduro. Alongside his wife, they were transferred to the USS Iwo Jima and taken to New York, where Maduro faces multiple federal charges, including narco-terrorism. On Monday, Maduro and his wife were brought to the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan, where Maduro pleaded not guilty. It was a flawless U.S. operation with negligible Venezuelan resistance. Further U.S. action was long expected given the massive force amassed in the Caribbean. President Donald Trump said Saturday that the United States will now run Venezuela and spoke openly about bringing back U.S. oil companies that were forced out. When pressed on what running the country meant, Secretary Rubio said, quote, "What we are running is the direction that this is going to moving forward, and that is we have leverage," end quote. Here are my top 6 takeaways. First, the United States operation is the start, not the end of American involvement in Venezuela. Reports even suggest plans are in the works for the embassy to reopen. Second, the United States now bears responsibility for the eventual outcome in Venezuela. Third, the Trump administration must now work with Delcy Rodriguez, Venezuela's vice president and a longtime key figure in the Maduro regime, who is now serving as acting president. Delcy Rodriguez will have to walk a tight political tightrope if she wants to maintain Chavista loyalty, but also take steps to avoid further U.S. strikes. Fourth, there has been little airtime given to the need for conducting a free and fair election. That is clearly not the top of the U.S. priority list. And Trump even dismissed the popularity of Maria Corina Machado, who led the victorious 2024 presidential campaign of Edmundo Gonzalez after she was barred from running. Fifth, the U.S. actions are the first concrete deliverables of President Trump's new national security strategy with a heavy Western Hemisphere emphasis. And finally, the U.S. operation saw only limited regional pushback, with Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, and Uruguay condemning it. 2 of those 5 countries will have new presidents in 2026, while Argentina's Milei and Panama's Molino were among those voicing support. Want to know more? Stay tuned to Atlantic Council Venezuela coverage and join us tomorrow, Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern, in person or virtually, for a special event. We will unpack the implications of these dramatic developments and what comes next.